Yo, what's up? What's up? Welcome back to 101.1 The Culture. And today, I got one of my homies in the building. I know a lot of people are always going to say it, and I say it at the beginning of every interview. I know, y'all. I know. But my dog been rocking with me for a minute, and he said, man, I need to go ahead and put myself out there. So he decided to come on to 101.1 The Culture and put his business out in the street a little bit, if you will. So
Yes, sir.
this is my dog, KEE WEEZY. What's up, man?
What it do, Big Ben?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm chilling. I'm chilling. So it's a different day today. It's kind of like I don't know if it's gonna sunshine or if it's gonna rain or what it's gonna do. And in Birmingham, it seems like every weekend it's gonna rain and storm, and then it's gonna be pretty throughout the week. So I'm kind of blessed to be here.
Oh yeah, me too.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So
Shoot.
so I know you said this is like one of your first interviews. So I always say, man, just let it flow, let it go, right? Let it flow, let it go. It's all natural.
Yes, sir.
And of course, we just have a conversation because we talk anyway, right? So
Oh yeah.
we just gonna let the people know a little bit more about you.
Okay. Okay.
So I always say I'm gonna get in your business a little bit, right? But
Oh, yeah.
before we get deep, right?
Yeah.
I need you to tell the people a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and a little bit about your background. You ain't gotta get too deep because we're gonna ask some more questions,
Okay.
but that's what we're gonna start out with.
I got you. My name KEE WEEZY. Um, Everybody done heard Selma. One of the
Okay.
most historical places in Alabama. And my background, I could say is just say stoner mode.
What'd you say?
Chill
Stoner
mode.
mode? Chill
Chill.
mode? Okay,
Stoner
stoner mode. So the 420. I think we talked a little bit
That's
about that
more like
420.
it's like more of my vibe.
More
It's
your
more of
vibe,
a-
okay?
It's more of a culture thing too. So we'll get deep off into it.
Okay, cool. So, of course, we know, and I don't know if everybody knows the background of Selma, but you being from Selma, what was it like growing up there?
It got his good and it got his bads.
Okay,
For some people, what they say, industry wise, you know, it ain't all what it is. But you can say we got a lot of history. We got plenty of history.
for
But
sure.
in today's working, it needs a lot of working. Put it that way.
Okay,
I mean, you can say that anywhere it go because stuff happen in different places. But the old heads,
the old heads.
I feel like we the ones got to step it up a little bit.
Okay. So we got a
But-
little, we got a little work to do.
Yeah, music wise, we got talent.
For
We
sure.
have talent for sure. But you know, it happens everywhere, bro. I can't just say in our city. We have a
Yeah.
historical place, but in time days now it's like the shit changed.
Yes.
I pay attention to a lot of stuff, so
Okay.
I can say I'm one of the OGs.
For
I
sure.
don't
For
consider
sure.
myself one of the business. If I can name my top dogs and silver, that's right off the bat. But it's got it good, it got it bad. Growing up, like I seen a lot just change
Okay.
from internet perspective. For one,
Hmm.
I moved to Florida, came back. Moved to Florida for 2 years, came
Okay.
back, and I seen the big shift of how internet just changed the whole world.
Okay.
Because one point in time, kids and stuff was outside.
I
All of us
agree.
used to shoot ball in the neighborhood all the time.
Oh, for sure.
Nowadays, you barely see anything because you barely see anybody outside. You probably hear people outside, but you don't hear like neighborhoods. Don't feel like neighborhoods. Put it that way, just because the tablets,
Okay.
technology is good and bad. That's why I say
Okay. I
internet
agree
made
with
a
you.
big shift in everything. So
For sure. And I think when you think about the internet, like you said, there's good and there's bad.
Yep.
Just like you talk about growing up in Selma, there was good stuff and there's bad stuff. And Selma has a really robust history.
Yeah.
Just recently, I went down to Selma with Aunt Ski, and Ski actually spoke at the 60th anniversary Walk on Selma.
Right.
So a lot of talent hit the stage. A lot of speakers came out to talk about um, the things that we're doing now and coming from where we've been in Selma to where we are now, and especially here in Alabama, which is one of the states that was the heart of the civil rights movement.
Right.
Um, there's a lot of civil rights history there, but I know about the radio stations down there.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
you do your music, so
That's why I started from the radio station.
from the radio station. So I remember when I used to be in Montgomery a lot, I was listening to Killer Dilla Roscoe Miller.
Right.
And he was turning up for the independent artists. He was doing the blues, but he also had the rap, and then he had his own video show
Right.
At one time. So, and that was really before the internet had hit big, big the way it is now. You had a little net, but people were still watching videos on TV.
Yep, they were. Yeah.
And so, what school did you go to down there?
Southside. Shout out to Southside and Selma.
Okay,
Southside. Y'all watching right now, so shout out to Southside and Selma.
Southside and Selma. That's what's okay. Cool.
The Panthers.
The Panthers. Okay. Did you play any sports, any ball, or were you still on the 420 kicked in?
Let me put it this way. I was trying to do sports. It started out as sports. We played ball all the time. Me and my brothers, basketball. They the ones that were more in the sports.
Okay.
They played basketball, football. I tried to play basketball, but I think like my 10th grade year, I got off in band.
Oh, so you was in the band?
Music it was just music straight from there.
Okay. And how many siblings you got?
Many.
I got
step brothers. I got 2 half sisters and 1 real half brother.
Okay. Okay, cool.
The rest of them were still,
So were any of them involved in music also?
My baby sister, shouts out to Get Right.
Okay.
My other sister, she was more as a dancer. She was more as a dancer in school. My big brother, he did a podcast and all that good stuff.
Okay,
he lived in Texas, so.
Okay, cool. We definitely got a shot. What's the name of this podcast?
Gone Live.
Gone Live. Okay, so Gone Live. Holla at me. I always believe collaboration is better than competition, so we definitely need to link up and talk. Maybe I can send people your way, you send people my way. Let's work. Yes, so now you said you come from a family that has a lot of artistic stuff, and you said when you started in band, that was your 10th grade year?
Yes, sir.
So that's what was the flip? What made you flip the switch with the music? What you when you did the band? Where you played an instrument, drums, sax?
I was on the snare drum.
Oh, that
actually I was the section leader. My last year I was section leader.
Okay.
Like anything they do with music, bro, I always feel like the snare was the most important.
Okay.
Because of tempo.
It keep the time.
Always.
You know
I
that
don't want to
snare.
say I hate to go off into coaching, but I have mixed kids.
Okay.
And I always try to teach my baby mama about tempo. Because you even hear it in church sometimes, it annoys me. Like sometimes I be in church,
they can't
and they get the stomps. It be like the stomp sometimes, and it be like, I wish that they had a set of drums in here. Somebody just start playing the drums.
Wow.
I just hear it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Ever since then, I heard it. The snare is like the #1 thing important in the drums. I always tell people if they off tempo, I always tell them pay attention to the snare. That's how you keep up with the tempo.
Facts. That's you're gonna catch the doom doom the snare or the clap or whatever you do. That keep you on time.
That's what ticks it off.
Yeah,
the snares always ticks it off
for sure. And so, getting that part of the music, were you listening to rap at the time, or was it more R&B? What was your music influence?
I left out in 2005.
Okay.
So it was a little bit of everything.
Got you.
We were more into crunk music than you put it that way.
Okay, so yeah, 2005. That's that Lil Jon era in the South, right? Yep. But it was more that turn up.
Yep.
So I remember that era. Really, I had a lot of fun during that era.
Oh yeah.
So is that when you started doing like music for yourself, or when did that take place?
Everybody had that point in time when they started out trash, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had 2 homies. They started as my homies. Those my brothers at the end of the day. Shouts out to Bama, shouts out to Mojo.
Okay.
We started out. They the actual one brought me into the group.
Okay. So
it was band.
So y'all had a group.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It was a band. Then it was like, okay, they brought me out to the group. One was already making because I actually watched him make beats from the first PlayStation.
Okay.
I
don't mean to stop you, but they don't know the struggle when you first starting out.
At all.
Because he said he's making beats on the PlayStation. On the PlayStation. PlayStation had a music maker or something like that, if I remember.
I think it was just like some sort of game. I forgot what it was, but he was making them. And I'm like, man, really see him making beats on here? And my other guy, he just came on. No, he was already rapping.
Okay.
So they just kind of brought me into the fold. And like how I started off, it when in myself, everybody said I was snapping, but to myself, I was like, when I go back and listen to my music, I'm like, nah, that's it.
So do you remember your first raps? I asked a lot of people this. Do you remember any of your first raps?
Crunkers in the South. Yes. Because I remember I remixed Can We Talk?
The Tevin Campbell.
I remixed it, but when I listened to it, I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I elevated to it. It was, but for me, it was a start in music. You know what I mean?
Right. So
that's how my.
So basically, you're saying your first stuff was trash, but now you've progressed.
Yes.
And you know what? That man, no one really starts out as a great basketball player. No one really starts out as a great football player. So, most of the time when people start out rapping, when they get serious about it, normally it's not that good for everybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
When you first start laying it down, but then as you grow, when you get more into it, you learn more. Exactly. So I would guess that you kind of turned up a little bit later because I know what you're doing.
Yeah. It was that like I'm matter of fact, I'm gonna be quiet about some stuff because we might collab and do some stuff.
For sure.
Boys. Because we haven't done it in a while. Mostly I just been on my journey.
Okay.
I've been on my journey after I'm not gonna say after high school because during college time I was still performing with them, but not as much. Okay. Everybody kind of just broke off and I just kept doing my thing.
Okay.
But if I call them right now, we can do something.
For sure. I mean, you still got that relationship, but I always say this. I like the nostalgic thing, but sometimes it's like every guy got to be at a certain level.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm up here, you know what I'm saying, and not that you looking down on nobody, but sometimes if you move in your train,
right,
sometimes it's kind of hard to stop your motion,
right,
to pick up people along the way.
You're right.
That may be stagnant. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know where they are. It's just something that I've learned throughout my journey. That if someone ain't moving, hey, come on and rap with me, bro, and then they really ain't with it, and then you mad because they ain't with it. You know what I'm saying? But it's your dream. You know what I'm saying? It's like you chose to rap or you chose to do music. It's really nobody else's responsibility but yours. You know what I mean?
You're right.
And that's why you have kept going on your journey.
Right.
So
I feel like there's still more there to learn. You know what I mean? Like this, to me, this is my first step of everything I ever done. I done tons of shows.
Mm-hmm.
I done made plenty of studios. I done made plenty of beats. This is like something in myself. I feel like this is a start. Because
so you produce and engineer, or produce, engineer, and rap.
All of it.
See, I ain't even got that type of talent. I can write. Of course, I make beats, engineer stuff like, but I've been on stage a couple of times as a rapper.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think I can rap. But, I've never wanted to.
Right.
It was more of a need for me trying to kick off what I was doing. So, I got behind the mic. One of these days, I'm gonna play y'all some bars. Y'all gonna say, okay, he can rap. The old man used to have some, but I never wanted to be in front of the mic, right?
Right.
And when I see people that do it all, salute to you, man, because that's a heavy hat to wear to be able to do.
Because it's like sometimes you have your moments you like fully just want to go full throttle like recording. Then you got to make time. People who don't do music do not understand.
I know what you're gonna say. Go ahead and say it.
9 to 5. So you really have to make time into that.
Yeah.
And when it come down with people asking for some free, like, bro, we literally sometimes sit here 3 hours making. Sometimes we take 3 hours to record. It's time consuming. You know what I'm saying? It's still you still on time when you still doing this stuff. It's still a business at the end of the day. It's like when you go into a retailing job, it's exactly what music is. You have to treat your music just like retail.
Okay.
Product, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've got a product. I have a business. I offer services, and this is my rate. Right. And if you want to work with me, this is what I charge.
Right.
And no, it's not free.
Yeah, you're right.
It's not free
at all.
And so, hearing you say that, one of the things that, I caught you, but I know when I was listening to you saying about recording.
Yeah.
For me, the challenge has always been I record and engineer for a lot of people, but I have a passion for making tracks.
Right.
But it's a different switch I have to turn on.
Right.
You know what I mean? When I'm recording or working for someone else, I'm working to make their stuff sound the best that it is, right?
Exactly.
But if I'm making a beat, it's like I can't go directly from doing that to beat making because I may not be inspired. I'm just doing out of work. And as I've gotten older, I don't sit up and make 5, 10 beats a day like I did when I was young.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like if I feel like making a beat, I'll make a beat. If I don't, I'm not gonna make a beat. And if you call me and you want a beat, now I'm making it tailored for you as opposed to me. So it's a different switch in artistry that you gotta have to be able to wear all those hats.
Oh, yeah.
And especially you being a rapper, do you make beats for yourself?
I do. And that's a challenge, bro. I literally have tons of beats, right?
Mm-hmm.
As an artist, do you not know it's much challenging you finding your own beat to write to?
And I guess I guess that would be a challenge for me.
Because I literally go through, like I have tons of when I go and sit back and listen to my own beat, and if I hear somebody else beat, it's like kitchen. You know what I mean? I'm saying listen to my beats, it literally take me decades to sit here and write one beat. I'm like, oh,
Are you overly critical? Are you an overthinker?
I am.
That might be it. That might be it.
I am.
You might be listening to the beat and overthinking it because you made it and now, man, I don't know if that really fit me or.
I tell you what's the code to the key to my code is because sometimes I literally sit back and find a beat,
mm-hmm.
and it's like I listen to it for days before I even write to it. If I go back and listen to it like a ton of times but don't have no words to it,
yeah,
I always be like, I'm gonna find the right words to it. So those be my songs. I'll be like, yeah, let me just take my time. Don't even rush it. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
If I rush it, then it's gonna be something that I don't even want to talk about on the beat. And I might not even listen to the beat once I record them.
So what's really your creative process when you're working for you?
It's just whatever come to mind. Like, okay, a lot of people, when you listen to songs are stories. Mm-hmm. Some songs are based off other people's situations.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's part of what I do. Some of my situations might be in it. I might just see somebody else going through that situation and bam, that's mine. You know, I just go off pretty much how I feel about the beat, put it that way. The beat gotta be like a feel. So I used to freestyle and I just got stopped. I had to stop myself from doing it. I normally write my songs because songs really make sense to me.
Okay.
You hear somebody rapping beats, freestyling them, Wayne can do it all day. All day, every day. That I just told my homegirl to call. He's the number one rapper to me.
Okay.
Tupac 2, Biggie 3.
So those are your top influences?
Yes.
Okay.
My top 3 right there, right off the bat.
So you went straight with the GOATs?
Yes.
I got you.
So, it just gotta be the feel of the beat to me. Once I get the feel of the beat, because like I said, I got tons of them. But
yeah.
After that, I don't know, bro. It's just something. I just gotta be the feel of the beat.
Facts. So let me ask you a question. I know we talked about your creative process and your music. Right. So what you got out right now? Because I know you're supposed to be sending me something to put on the radio.
Yes, sir. Right now, I just released Getaway. That was last month.
Okay.
I just tried United Master for the first time. That was my whole new thinking process coming in 2025. I started using the United Masters. But some just told me just like
try a different distributor.
Yeah, just try that. I just released 3 songs this year. Getaway, Complicated, and Smoke Some More.
Okay. So which one you sending me?
Getaway, because that was the last one.
Getaway is the last one. Okay. Well, whatever I'm gonna play whatever you send.
I want you to choose it.
Don't make me the judge. Do not make me the judge.
I got you.
Because I wanted to benefit you. Okay. You know what I mean? Make sure that whatever record that you trying to get out there the most, you know what I'm saying? If it's Getaway, then send me Getaway. And I'm gonna make sure that we get played on the radio.
I got you, bro.
So what inspired Getaway?
It's a long story.
Uh-oh.
I'll make a long story short. All right, the picture of the matter of fact, I explained the cover art.
Okay.
There you go. The cover art. That's when I was living in Florida. I had shorter hair.
Okay.
I had shorter hair on on a picture. But that's one of my moments I got away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I started living in Florida, and like basically it's like a love stoner song too. Like,
okay.
Let's just get away. You know.
Okay,
just,
something different.
Yeah.
Okay, bet.
Oh yeah, that was the main important part of that song, making somebody smile in that song.
Hey,
when I say smile, that was devil. Because every time I hear the song, you know, my son, when it first pop on, he'll start singing. Matter of fact, I got him in the logo of the song.
Oh, that's
when
dope.
he first come in, my dad made that beat. So that just set it off to make it more like, okay, get on down the line, you know.
That's hard. And now he's your song tag. My daddy make this beat.
Yeah.
that's hard.
So the hook basically just making somebody happy today. Even if it's more making females happy today. If you feel terrible about yourself today, hey, go listen to this beat. Go smoke you one, listen to this song. You feel all right.
That's what's up. So, man, I want to say thank you for coming on to the podcast today and to the show.
Yes,
you know, I rock with people at whatever level they at. I know you said you're taking a break and you're getting back into it and you're going hard. So I'm glad that you chose me to be one of the first people to actually come on and highlight your music. And I'm definitely gonna make sure that we get him looked at. We're gonna check him out on all your platforms.
Yes, sir.
So tell everybody how to find you.
Find me on YouTube, Facebook, whatever social media site I do. Look up KEE WEEZY, KEEWEEZY. I go live on Twitch too.
Twitch. Yes. Okay.
So
what do you do on Twitch?
I do a little gaming.
You do some gaming on there?
Yeah.
Okay. I ain't got on Twitch yet, but that's like the next platform I want to get on because I want to be able to take this and put it on Twitch also. And I do have a Twitch account. So I'm being lazy. See, I ain't perfect either. You know what I'm saying? I could be going live on Twitch too. So I'm going to start going live on Twitch just because you talked about it. I'm going to add Twitch to my thing. So I'm going to start going live on Twitch. So you're going to see, eventually y'all going to see a 101.1 The Culture on Twitch.
Right.
On everything.
Do that.
So before we go, you got any special shout outs?
As I always do when I usually do it at the radio station, I never did one specific person.
Okay.
And I never did certain people. I want to shout out to everybody across the globe. That's how I do it.
Everybody across the globe. Everybody across the globe. So listen.
Everybody that's living and breathing right now, and that's up under the sun and up under the moon right now. Shout out to you.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And so thank you so much. Again, if y'all are watching the podcast right now, or the radio station is streaming across the bottom, 101theculture.com. All you got to do is go to that website, hit the player, and you'll hear nonstop music from independent artists. And I call them independent because I don't like to say local. Just because you independent don't mean that you ain't major.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Along with that, you can download the TuneIn app or the Live 365 app, and you can type in 101 The Culture. You can listen to the station. Also, if you're watching this, you can catch this on YouTube on 101.1 The Culture. You can catch it on Facebook at 101.1 The Culture. And also, we do have an Instagram page that we're using to highlight some of our artists. So go to 101.1 The Culture on Instagram and you'll find us there.
Follow,
and share. Man, you got to get behind these people. You don't know where he's going to be in a year. So I tell y'all, tap into these people now because in 6 months to a year, he might be out of here. Right. So tap into your folks. Again, I appreciate you.
I will do one thing. Shouts out to the culture.
Shout out to the culture. That's what's up. We do this for the culture.
Yes, sir.